What if everything you thought about wealth, success, and security in 2026 is a lie? What if the rules you've been following are quietly keeping you small, anxious, and unfulfilled in this rare and unflinching speech? Charlie Kirk exposes the uncomfortable truths about money, power, and personal freedom. Without sugarcoating a single detail, you'll confront your fears, question your assumptions, and face the raw choices that determine your future. This isn't about luck gimmicks or fleeting trends. It's about building real wealth with clarity, courage, and relentless honesty. Are you ready to see the truth? Most people live their entire lives chasing the idea of security, thinking that if they just get that steady job, that stable paycheck, and that safe career, everything will work out. They're told from the moment they're old enough to listen that a pension, a 401k, and a nice corner office are the keys to freedom. And sure, there's comfort and stability, but comfort is not wealth. Comfort is not freedom. Comfort is a cage disguised as safety. Think about it. If you're relying on someone else to determine the trajectory of your life, how free are you really? How wealthy are you if your time, your choices, your energy, and even your dreams are dictated by policies, schedules, or someone else's bottom line? Here's the brutal truth. Most people will never realize their potential because they confuse security with wealth. They cling to what's familiar because it feels safe. But safety is the slowest killer of ambition. You might have a stable income, a nice car, and a predictable routine, but if you've never challenged yourself, if you've never taken a risk, if you've never stared fear in the face and said, "I'm doing this anyway," then you're living a life of illusion. You're comfortable, yes, but you're not alive. You're not building wealth. True wealth doesn't come from comfort, it comes from freedom. And freedom is messy, it's unpredictable, it's uncomfortable, but it's real, and it's worth every bit of risk. Look around the people who are truly wealthy. The ones who create real value aren't following a pre-approved script handed to them by society. They don't wait for permission. They understand that wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much control you have over your life, your choices, and your future. They invest in themselves. They learn continuously. They adapt to change faster than the world can throw it at them. They embrace discomfort because they know it's a signal that they're growing, expanding, and breaking free from the herd. So ask yourself, are you living to work, or are you working to live? Are you trading your time and energy for a paycheck that just barely scratches the surface of what you could achieve? Are you comfortable, or are you free? Because there's a huge difference. And most people never even see it. Most people never even consider it. And that's why they never get ahead. That's why they never break the cycle. Freedom isn't given, security isn't wealth. Comfort is not courage if you want to build real wealth in 2026. If you want to live a life that's truly yours, you have to see the illusion for what it is. You have to step out of the cage, embrace the unknown, and take ownership of your choices. Stop letting the fear of instability dictate your life. The moment you understand this, the moment you commit to real freedom, you'll start living instead of just existing. And so I ask you today, are you ready to leave the illusion behind and claim the life that's waiting for you? Fear is the single biggest obstacle standing between most people and the life they say they want. It's not lack of talent, opportunity, or intelligence that holds people back. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. Fear is invisible, but it's lethal. It keeps good people from taking risks, from speaking up, from pursuing their dreams, from stepping into the life they were capable of living. Every time you let fear dictate your actions, you're shrinking yourself, shrinking your potential, and shrinking your freedom. And the worst part, most people don't even realize how much fear has already taken from them. Think about it. How many people, settle for mediocrity because they're too afraid to stand out, too afraid to challenge the status quo, too afraid to look foolish, to lose, or to fall short? Fear convinces you that playing small is safe. It whispers, stay quiet, don't rock the boat, don't risk it, don't embarrass yourself. But here's the brutal truth. Safety is an illusion, and comfort is the slowest killer of ambition. You cannot build wealth or freedom while you're chained to fear. Fear is a liar, and it's relentless, building wealth, building freedom, building a life that matters. It all begins with confronting fear, head on, not avoiding it, not pretending it doesn't exist, not whining about how unfair the world is. You have to face it. You have to understand that fear is a signal, not a barrier. Fear shows you where growth is waiting. It shows you where opportunity hides beneath discomfort. Every step you take through fear, every calculated risk you accept, every time you push past the voice that tells you to quit, you are claiming power over your life. You are expanding your influence, your wealth, and your freedom. Here's the thing. The people who succeed, the ones who are truly free, they are not fearless, they are afraid just like you. but they refuse to let fear decide their future. They move forward anyway. They take action, even when uncertainty screams at them to stay put. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear, it is mastery of it. And that's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Ask yourself right now, how many opportunities have you missed because you were too afraid? How many moments have passed, dreams delayed, and potential wasted because fear whispered louder than your ambition? If you don't confront it, fear will continue to control your life and you will spend another year stuck in the same place wondering why nothing ever changes. The truth is simple. Fear is inevitable, but surrender is optional. You cannot escape it, but you can decide how to respond. The choice is yours. Do you shrink, stay quiet and settle for less than you deserve, or do you rise, confront the fear, and take ownership of your future? Because the moment you embrace fear, instead of running from it, you unlock the only door that leads to real wealth, real freedom, and real impact. So today I challenge you, stop letting fear write the story of your life. Step forward, take the risk, and move boldly into the opportunities that are waiting for you. Settling for mediocrity is one of the quietest but most brutal traps we can fall into. Most people don't realize it, but the moment you decide that good enough is enough, you start giving away your future. Mediocrity disguises itself as safety, as practicality, as realism, but it is the slow erosion of your potential. While the world is changing at a pace faster than ever before, millions are stuck in routines that accomplish nothing more than keeping them comfortable, keeping them predictable, keeping them invisible. Comfort is not a strategy, and complacency is not an achievement. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem to have it, all the ones who dominate in their fields, who shape culture, who create opportunity. Do you think they ever settled for good enough? No. They understood that the price of mediocrity is far higher than the risk of failure. They understood that comfort might feel safe, but it never produces wealth. It never produces influence. It never produces freedom. If you want to build real wealth in 2026, you cannot afford to accept the mediocre. You have to aim higher than your circumstances. You have to challenge what you think is possible. You have to refuse to settle for less than what you know you are capable of achieving. Mediocrity also breeds regret. You can see it in people's eyes, in the lives they live. They look around at what could have been and realize they traded time, energy, and talent for convenience and safety. They worked long hours, but not toward meaningful goals. They followed rules, but not their own path. They listened to the voices that said, be realistic, instead of the voice inside that screamed, you can do more. You must do more. And by the time they realize it, the years have passed, and the future they imagined is no longer within reach. Here's the truth. The cost of staying average is high, and it is invisible until it's too late. Wealth is not just about money, it's about leverage, impact, and freedom. And leverage is not given, it's earned. It's earned by people willing to go further than everyone else, willing to challenge themselves when it's uncomfortable, willing to take risks that most won't touch. The rich, the truly free, the successful. They see mediocrity as the enemy, and they attack it relentlessly. They understand that the only path to real wealth is through effort, courage, and relentless pursuit of excellence. So ask yourself, are you willing to settle? Are you willing to let fear of effort, fear of criticism, or fear of uncertainty keep you small? Or are you ready to break free from mediocrity? Embrace the discomfort of growth and claim the life that you are capable of living. Every step you take beyond the safe, predictable path is a step toward real freedom, real influence, and real wealth. The world rewards those who refuse to be average. Comfort and mediocrity may feel safe, but they will never set you free. If you want the life others only dream about, you must be willing to rise above the ordinary. Mediocrity is the enemy. Refuse it, and your future belongs to you. Your mindset determines everything, literally everything about your financial future. It's easy to blame the system, the economy, or other people for why you're not where you want to be, but the truth is wealth begins in your mind, long before it appears in your bank account. It begins with the beliefs you hold, the habits you cultivate, and the daily choices you make. Your mindset is the lens through which you see opportunity, risk, and possibility. If you see limits, you'll find them. If you see obstacles, you'll hit them. But if you see growth potential and abundance, you'll create. Most people are trapped in a scarcity mindset. They're obsessed with what they don't have, what they might lose, or what others might think. If they fail, they hoard information. They play it safe. They wait for someone to give them permission. And while they sit paralyzed by doubt, the world moves forward. Opportunities slip by. Wealth slips by life, slips by a scarcity mindset is a prison. And most people don't even realize they're locked inside the wealthy, the truly successful, the people who command influence. They think differently, they embrace an abundance mindset. They understand that there is more than enough opportunity for those who are willing to work, learn, and adapt. They focus on leverage, using their time, skills, and relationships to multiply results. They invest in themselves relentlessly because they know that the biggest asset they will ever own is their mind. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, who stretch them, who make them better. Their mindset is proactive, not reactive. They don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They create the conditions themselves. The brutal truth is that without the right mindset, even the best plans will fail. Money, networks, education, and opportunity mean nothing if your mind is fixed on limits. You're convinced that you're not capable, that success is for other people, or that wealth is out of reach. Then it will be your inner beliefs shape your outer reality more than you realize. Change the way you think and the way you act, and the results you achieve will follow. So ask yourself right now, what kind of mindset are you cultivating? Are you feeding your fears, doubts, and insecurities, or are you training your mind for growth, resilience, and abundance? Are you willing to challenge the stories you've been told, the limitations you've accepted, and the comfort zone that's keeping you small? The choice is yours. If you want to build real wealth, freedom, and influence in 2026, you must start by mastering your mind. Discipline your thoughts, expand your beliefs, and refuse to accept limits imposed by anyone else, because the moment your mind shifts, the world begins to bend in your favor. Your mindset is your most powerful weapon. Master it, and nothing can stop you. The rules of the modern economy are not what you think they are. If you're waiting for someone to hand you a job, a promotion, or a guaranteed path to wealth, you're already behind. The world has changed, and it's changing faster than most people realize. Traditional routes to success, sticking to one career, saving every penny, following the old playbook, are no longer enough in 2026. If you want to build real wealth, you have to understand the hidden rules, the ones most people never learn, and you have to play by them. Intentionally, technology, networks, and influence are the new currencies. The people who thrive are the ones who understand this. They see opportunity where others see risk. They see leverage where others see limits. They know that the future belongs to those who are willing to learn faster, adapt faster, and take calculated risks, while the rest of the world hesitates. You can't just work harder in the same old ways and expect the same old results. The rules have shifted, and so must your strategy. Most people are still trying to climb a ladder that's been removed. They're measuring success with outdated metrics, a degree, a steady paycheck, a promotion. But real wealth isn't measured in titles or office space. It's measured in freedom, impact, and control. Are you building assets that generate income while you sleep? Are you investing in skills that multiply your value in ways money alone cannot? Are you surrounding yourself with people who challenge, who push you, who expand your vision? If not, you're playing by the wrong rules. And every day you wait is a day lost. Here's the brutal truth. The world doesn't owe you a safe path. It doesn't owe you stability, fairness, or permission. If you want real wealth, you have to create it yourself. You have to understand the trends before they arrive. Leverage technology and influence to your advantage, and position yourself to take advantage of opportunities others can't even see. Waiting for someone else to define the rules for you is a recipe for stagnation. Wealth in 2026 is built by those who understand systems, networks, and timing, and who act decisively when others hesitate. Ask yourself, are you waiting for life to hand you a chance, or are you creating your own? Are you adapting to the new rules of wealth, or are you still playing a game that no longer exists? The people who win, the people who dominate, the people who are free, are not the luckiest. They're the most prepared, the most aware, and the most willing to act, while others are complacent. The hidden rules of the modern economy aren't complicated. They're just ignored by most people. If you see them, understand them, and commit to mastering them, you have a massive advantage. Stop following the outdated playbook. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission. Build, adapt, learn, leverage, and act. Your success depends not on luck or tradition. It depends on how quickly you embrace the rules no one else sees. Master these rules, and you will thrive where others fail. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one principle: radical responsibility. Most people are quick to blame the economy, society, their upbringing, or even luck for where they are in life. They point fingers, make excuses, and hope someone else will solve their problems. But real wealth, real freedom, and real influence are never handed to anyone. They are earned by those willing to take complete ownership of their lives. If you want to build the life you dream about in 2026, you have to stop looking outside yourself for answers and start looking inside. Radical responsibility means understanding that every decision you make shapes your future, every choice, every habit, every dollar spent or saved, every minute invested or wasted. It all matters. The people who achieve true wealth don't wait for opportunities to appear, they create them. They don't complain about the system. They master it. They don't hope for permission. They act boldly anyway. And here's the harsh truth. If you're not willing to take radical responsibility for your life, no one else will do it for you. No one will hand you freedom, security, or influence on a silver platter. This is why most people never reach their potential. They allow external circumstances to control them. They let fear dictate their choices. Mediocrity define their limits, and outdated rules hold them back. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions. And meanwhile, life passes them by. The wealthy, the free, the successful, they don't wait. They understand that progress is messy, action is imperfect, risk is unavoidable. But action, courage, and relentless discipline are the only way to move forward. Radical responsibility also means owning your failures as much as your successes when you fail. Don't blame, market your boss, or someone else. Study it, learn from it, adjust, and move forward. Stronger failure is a teacher, not a punishment. It's a tool that separates those who eventually succeed from those who give up. The people who build wealth in 2026 are not immune to setbacks. They simply refuse to let setbacks define them. They take ownership of their mistakes and use them as fuel to grow, adapt, and conquer. And the most powerful part of radical responsibility, it gives you freedom. Freedom from fear, from dependence, from limitation. When you take full ownership of your choices and your future, you realize that nothing and no one can stop you except yourself. You become the master of your destiny, the architect of your life. The person who decides what is possible and what is not. Everything else becomes secondary. So I ask you today, are you willing to step up, stop blaming, stop waiting, and take radical responsibility for your life? Are you ready to own your failures, your successes, your habits, and your choices? Because the moment you do, you unlock the only power that truly matters. The power to shape your own destiny, the power to build real wealth, and the power to live on your terms. Radical responsibility isn't easy, but it's the only path to freedom, influence, and wealth. Own your life, and nothing can stop you. What if everything you thought about building wealth is wrong? What if the rules you've been following for years are quietly keeping you small, stuck, and dependent? In 2026, the world is changing faster than ever, and the path to real freedom and financial power isn't in a paycheck, a safe job, or following the crowd. In this unfiltered, hard-hitting message, you're about to hear the brutal truth, how fear, mediocrity, and outdated thinking are holding you back, and what it truly takes to claim wealth, influence, and control over your life.